nothing to be done for Gravitas here. LCO here, and that is the ultimate connected.
Themselves into a false hope. Final 3 minutes on the goal.
Only player to lock in this lane. There is just no damage for the Chiefs. Braden gets the first pentakill of the LCO.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another beautiful evening of the DoorDash LCO. I'm, of course, Mac, your fantastic, wonderful, beautiful, spicy bloody host coming in for another day of the DoorDash LCO. And look, it's day 17. We're getting right down towards the pointy end, and it's the final time all these teams play before we jump into playoffs. And yesterday was a damn spicy day, so let's look back at what happened then before we jump into today's action.
Fiddlesticks ult. Chaz, at risk here. Well, they're going to go for the 50-50. It will end up going into the hands of Pabu, and he'll Crow Storm over the wall. That is going to be that. Peace cannot contest with the damage that is being put down right now by Pentanet. In the end, they do manage to get a couple of trades back. How many wards do you need in one bush? I tell you what, they can see Safa. They can see Safa, but can they do anything about it? Because he's jumped right on top of Shock. And now the lights do go out, so no matter how many wards you've got, it won't make a difference. Claire low on HP, nice Bard ulti, isolates Safa on his own against Only, and that might be a turning point in the fight, or it might not. Unless Kyosei has another trick that he can pull out. Been a bit of a magician so far this game. He is going to look to distort over the wall, see if he can get it done. Oh, what a steal from Kyosei. You saw it lining up, perfection. And that might just be enough to keep Gravitas in the game. 3 versus 1 for Kisei. Can he do it? Well, he's going to give it a crack. Nectar dies. Oh, he got deleted. And Kisei gets out alive.
After the kills here as well. Why go for Baron when the kills are
Nectar!
upper?
Nectar's going to make a play. He wants to be the player that delivered. What a Mega Inferno Bomb on top of it all as well. That was to get relatively difficult. ML comes in on the rotation. Nice block from Beats. Chang'e can't survive. Excellent snipe from Styled. Fight, which is a big deal when you're all talking about a Yone. Winterer and ML trying to slow down the forces of Order, but Order is getting in there. Kevy dispatches of Sybil, and that is a Baron for free for Order. 3 kills for them as well. No, 4 kills for them. Start the on.
Oh, you feel it? You feel it? I love it. Oh, yes. The tunes, the brass, it's beautiful. 2 other beautiful humans that we're going to be bringing onto the show, though, is Juice and Skimmy. Let's get them in here. They're looking fantastic today. Oh, boys, Juice, how you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling fantastic. It's good to be back. It's good to be with my, I won't say my favorite two, because some people might get jealous, but, you know, you're up there.
Okay, I'm glad that I'm up there. What about you, Skimmy? Are you happy about that too?
Oh, it's high praise from the big man himself, right? I know whenever we get to cast, it's almost like 2 schoolboys in the playground having a good giggle at all the action. Just the one-liners, there's the production giving us, you know, these moments to laugh about, and the games themselves seem to deliver. So I'm stoked to be here again. Only a couple of weeks left of the season right before playoffs, and I'm keen for some bangers, Mac. Let's get into it.
Well, look, we have some bangers coming up, but before we jump into today's games, let's have a look at the standings and see what happened yesterday and where all the teams are bloody sitting, because neither of you two got to have your 2 cents looking at this one. So, Jubes, any surprises here for you?
I mean, I feel like I'm just defaulting to this every single week. It's the Peace one that's the biggest surprise for me.
Yeah.
Obviously expecting them to make the playoffs, but again, it's hotly contested, right? It's nothing solidified. I mean, even Gravitas can just fly on up there with a win today. So across the board, you know, it's still looking very tight, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting indeed. Now, I'm still interested to see if Legacy or Peace is going to take that 5th position. Still, I think 5 days left of games, or 5 games left for all the teams. So, Skimmy, do you think it can happen? And are we going to see Peace finally rise to form just when it's needed most?
You want to think that they can, right? You know that the ceiling is there for them to punch on through and achieve. You'd argue that a lot of these pickups they've made should have leveled up the team, and sometimes it's easier said than done, right? So I'm sure there's a little bit of synergy that they need to try and discover. And as you said, only 5 games left, right? Not a lot of time to really knuckle that one down. You've still got Gravitas in the mix, despite them showing up to 7th. They're only a game away, right, from also throwing themselves into the ring. So I think the narrative is slowly shifting towards becoming a race for 5th place, the final spot in playoffs, because Pentanet are already guaranteed, so they're just playing now for the seeding. But yeah, the middle of the pack is where all the action's at.
Yeah, it seems something crazy could happen in these last couple of games as well. So let's have a look at what games we will be having on this evening. Here is the schedule. 6 p.m. You got Pantanet going up against Mammoth, so this will be an interesting one. Top and bottom of the table. You don't really know how it's going to go because Mammoth have nothing to lose now. 7 p.m. Chiefs and Legacy head-to-head. This one's going to be a bit of a banger because Legacy have been playing pretty damn good recently. Order and Gravitas as well going head-to-head at 8 p.m. This could go either way, but Order have really been finding their form lately. Them and the Chiefs, of course, both need these wins to stay tied second. 9 p.m, Peace and Direwolves. This one's going to be hard for Peace. I think, as far as I'm aware, they are returning back to their normal roster today, unless I'm mistaken, Juice.
I might be mistaken as well, so we'll have to get some confirmation on that one.
I've seen default, so we can only
that's what I
imagine it is
mean.
the core.
I
the
got
core
confirmation. It was from. It's the same team as yesterday.
That's what I would have thought if being
okay.
default. Yeah.
So they are fielding the same team as yesterday, and now that makes it that little bit harder because Direwolves are playing really damn good. Now, knowing that, is Direwolves and Peace going to be game of the day, or are we looking somewhere else there, Skimmy?
I would have gone for the final game of the day to be the banger because of multiple reasons. You look at Direwolves right now, they're 7 4th. They've got a 2-game buff for punching up and punching down. So they'll be feeling, you don't want to say content, but you'd be saying that they'll feel pretty cruising the idea that a couple of wins, a couple of good performances, and they've pretty much sealed their fate as well. But, you know, there's teams at the top still looking to try and get themselves that elusive first place. And as we mentioned before, teams in 5th that are looking to try and scrape on through. So I think Direwolves sitting in the middle, they're going to pick their battles.
Yeah, well, let's see if they pick the right ones. Now, any other storylines we want to touch on before we jump into one of my favourite segments?
What is
Anything
your
that you guys
favourite
wanna
segment?
spin? What's my favourite segment? Well, that's a story for another time.
So you're not going to tell me
that time
yet.
is now from the fans. You guys at home have any content, you love content. You did a great job yesterday creating a whole bunch of content, not only for the pre-show, but for the whole day. There's gifs going all over the internet, all over Twitter. And if you guys have anything good at LCO, you know, I've already told you before, it doesn't have to be a picture. It doesn't have to be a meme. It doesn't have to be an op.gg review, but we'll happily take all those as well. Send a little video, ask a little question. You know, you want to know how Skimmy does his hair every day? Please just ask him. But he won't tell you right now as he sets it up for the rest of the night. Now, I do believe we have a little bit of content from one of our fans and fan favourites. This is Pabu's mum, Meredith Pavone. PGG Nami and MMM Crash Doggo are supporting both sides tonight. PGG Nami by snoozing and Crash Doggo by trying to remember how to be a dog. He's very old. Oh, poor thing. Hey, he's still looking cute as ever, Skinny.
Certainly is. I mean, I love it whenever I get the updates from Mama Pabu coming on through, right, with the ability of saying, look, we're tuned in, we're keen for the game, then 5 minutes later, nope, Nami's fallen asleep again. So I love getting these weekly reminders and then sort of checking in with how they're doing.
Yeah, Nami as well with the hand over the eyes saying, go away, mum. I don't
look
photos.
at me.
I'm fairly certain too. Crash is like, again, if I remember correctly from what Pabu told me, Crash is maybe like 13, 14. Like, I think he's
really?
I think he's quite old in doggo years, but again, I think maybe Pabu gave me some misinformation, but there was no reason for him to do that.
No, my little poodle lasted about 14 years, 13 or 14 years. So that was a long time. Rest in peace, Mick. Love you.
Yeah.
Now,
Love you,
we
Mickey.
do have someone else we love. It's Nat. Let's bring Nat into the show. Nice and early this time. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
I say it like a question, like I haven't talked to you guys like 20 minutes ago.
Haven't seen you today. I don't know. How'd you get here? Anyway, we have a little surprise for you guys at home. Again, we are going to be doing one of these lovely champion quizzes, but this time it's going to be production running it. So, production, can you tell me who we're doing? Jin. Okay.
I get so triggered right now. I have
No.
to come up against Jin in almost every ranked game I have in bot lane, and oh my god.
What's the trap called? Is it Lotus Trap? Is it E?
Ooh, okay. He's taking stabs. If it's right, it'll pop up, and Phil will tell me.
So it didn't pop up, so,
So
it's
you're wrong.
Damn.
So you're wrong. But let's start with the passive, hey? How about we drop the icon, because I don't think any of us know much about Jin.
It's the revolver, yeah.
Sharpshooter. I have no idea.
Reload. Revolver.
This has like
What's
a
his gun?
revolver?
His hint? Okay, so I got a hint. It is the name of his gun. So what is his gun called? I don't know.
Rifle? Sniper?
Shotgun.
It's like a sword-off shotgun.
Shooty boy.
All I can think
It's
of
the,
is...
the name of his gun. So maybe is it
oh, he's
Paul?
named his gun.
Is it Paul? Is it Fred? No, I don't think so.
It could be Jeff. Looks like a Jeff. Maybe yeah.
All I can think of is like wake up
Is
Jack.
it
A Whisper?
Mr. Banks? Oh, it's Whisper. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that
There's
one.
no way we're getting that. No way.
No, all right. No points for anyone. I think I still have the points somewhere. I don't know. You guys did some on the day I wasn't here. I mean,
Yeah.
Fake Me was here. So I wasn't able to take the points that day. So I still don't know who's in the lead. Anyway, let's jump onto the queue, hey? What's his Q do again? Is that the...
It's the bounce. It's the grenade bounce.
Yeah.
bounce? Okay.
Bouncing. I want to say
Bouncing shell?
Betty?
Probably like ricochet.
Nah, it's not a
I was
ricochet.
clo-
It's Silver.
I
Like,
was
I know,
close.
but like
Dancing
with that
shell?
word in it. Oh, you were close.
Someone was close with dancing. So dancing is a word.
Dancing
in
grenade?
The ability. Dancing grenade? Oh, Jubes is on.
Oh,
there you go.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm kind of
Congratulations. You get a
in
point.
this neck of the woods. I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, okay. I just found a prop here from earlier on, or maybe even split one. That's 10. Yeah, that's 10. Good
Hey.
job, Jubes. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should see me dive.
Let's jump onto the the W. Hey, let's
Yeah,
just
the
go
W's,
in order.
Oh,
Oh, that's the chill boom, like the
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
Deadly Flourish?
it is. Yeah,
Deadly flourish.
Yeah.
Oh, on the money, skimmy. There he is.
yeah, I knew that one, but I didn't want to take all the points.
Oh, you're a good man, Juice.
I
That's why
take
you're my
all the
favourite, mate.
yeah.
That's why you're my favourite.
Just taking one for the team.
J1, that's fine, cool.
But no, so his traps, they're called Lotus Traps, but what's the ability? I don't know.
Lotus Trapper.
Yeah.
It's definitely got to have trap in them.
Does it have Lotus in it?
I have no idea.
Something in the bloom.
does
Flowers.
not- It
flowers
doesn't
in the-
have lotus in it.
Flowers in the bloom or bloom. Flowers bloom.
Trap bloom, bloom trap. Oh, think about a performance, says production.
Audience.
Curtain.
Oh, audience is correct, but there's another word. First word. We don't know.
Deadly audience.
Trapped audience.
Slowed audience.
Audience clap.
Clapped audience.
The first word starts with a C.
Oh, we're close. Crowd audience. Crowded
Curtain audience. Curtain audience.
Because that's his alt.
Oh, we suck.
Captive.
We suck. Captive audience. Okay.
Ah, how did I not get that? And yeah, okay.
There we
Yeah.
go. So we've got 2 out of 4. Not terrible.
I know the alt.
Well, I know the alt too,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well, there you
We'll
go.
let Nat
Alright.
go for it.
Hey, give Nat a crack.
Another track.
Come on,
I
Nat.
feel like I've just been thrown under the bus here. I can explain what it does.
No, I'll give you a tip.
Yeah.
If you don't want someone to look in your house.
Well, you already said it had curtain in it.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Curtain call?
Then if you're trying to order DoorDash, but you can't use the application, you need to.
Did Mac not just get a curtain
He
call?
did, but that was for Nat, not Mac. Are you Nat?
Sometimes I feel like I am. I do
Ruined.
get to occasionally. Are you Nat
Okay.
Jubes? You get to interview people occasionally.
Yeah. Maybe we're all a little bit of each other.
Just quietly, I reckon Rusty's chucked on the old Google because he's guessed Whisper straight away, and there's no way he knew the Jin passive.
Nah, oh, passive, true. I have good terms. Rusty saying that he knows absolutely no passives.
I feel like
could
people that know
definitely take a screenshot
passives
of that
off by heart just have photographic memory.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of sweated this a bit, but I picked all the wrong champs to research.
Oh, did you actually pre-search in rehearsal?
Look, at least
Okay.
you tried.
No,
At least you tried.
okay, I will be so honest. I put aside like 10 minutes every day leading up
Really?
to this to try and learn champ abilities. And I could tell you like 40 champ hero abilities right now, but none of the ones we picked.
We're going to need to have a trivia night at some stage.
You're on the road to being the next big cast up, really, at
Thank you.
at this sort of point. Now, let's start to move towards the teams. So there's 2 teams to kick things off, top of the table and bottom of the table. So no matter where you like to sit at the table, it's both the teams. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk Pentanet first here. So they are going to be the raid bosses in this first match of the evening, and they've been playing out of their minds, really finding their form towards the end of the split. So let's see if they can make this one happen, Juice.
Well, what was that funny? The roster.
Because my dinner's on the ground and my dog almost ate it.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why it was
All
funny.
right. Fair enough. No, fair enough. But this team here, I think they're all coming together, which is a very vague statement, but in the sense that they actually know how to execute their compositions really well. So, you know, we see them play a variety of things. Pabu, you know, has his fiddlesticks. Panther has his Tam Kench nowadays. You know, Chaz, best LEC in the world. I have it on record from Skimmy. But they really just push the envelope. And the biggest improvement for me in this team and why they're playing so well at the moment is Decoy. Now, I don't know if he's got player that delivered, but the way that he recalls and meets up with his jungler, meets up with his top laner, and forces the agenda, forces issues in the river, and pulls the trigger, is I think he goes a little bit underrated, but that's why we're seeing them play so well now.
I actually got a follow-up stat to that, Juve. So I did a bit of researching to keep Nat hot on her heels, right? You know, if she's coming for my casting job, then I had to come for the stats, Nat. So I went and had a look at Decoy stats, and across the entire league, Decoy actually has the highest kill participation at 75.6. The man's always roaming, he's always cheating, he's always not returning back to his own lane, but going top side, mid lane, acting as another jungler and just getting it done. So I think ever since you had that interview with him, Nat, he's really said confidence is what I'm after. And confidence is what he's doing.
And he's only had one player that delivered, so maybe we need to just focus on him a little bit more today.
Whoever's voting on that is just absolutely don't know what they're doing.
Well, it was leaked. It was leaked yesterday, but it's all me. So, Decoy, look, I personally apologise to you for not giving you more $100 DoorDash vouchers. Now, we got to talk Mammoth as well. So, doing a relatively good job for the majority of the season, getting really close to a couple of their games where they were underdogs, but unfortunately just still only finding one victory. And today is going to be yet another rough game. So let's see how they do, Skimmy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that we've said, you know, it's all about coming together and having these moments of individual brilliance. And we have seen them play really well as a collective. I think, date your mind back to week 3 up against Peace. They had themselves a 10k gold lead. They just mis-executed the way to close out that game and unfortunately lost on that occasion. But, you know, we looked at Nectar last week, arguably had his own personal best performance on Viega and Gwen. You know, we look at the likes of Frost, who's shown up when it really matters against the big teams like Peace and PGG in their prime. I think for me, it's just you're looking at what appears to be a big lack of confidence in the mid lane for Wei, and I'd love to see him return to a champion like Lucian, where he said his best performances on, if not the likes of an Enchanter, Karma, Lulu. They're still very high priority, and they just offer you so much regardless of your own individual performance.
Yeah, there's also been a few times though where even no matter what he does, he just gets targeted, and it's a lot of the teams have realized that he may be one of the key factors that allow Mammoth to win these games when they do win those games. But there hasn't been a lot of that this season, and there has been a lot of camping Wei in mid lane and just not enabling him to play the game. So you tilt Wei, you pretty much beat Mammoth unless Kudo and Frost are playing their A game. That's the way that I see it, and that's the way that I think a lot of people see it, and that's what it looks like when you're looking at it for face value, Juice.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because he plays those champions that are actually like high risk, high reward, right?
Yeah.
Where he plays those champs where he needs to play up in lane, and partly probably due to his playstyle. Like, you know, he's going to opt in for the solo kill. Like, how many times, you know, actually, I remember yesterday's game, he actually had the solo kill, but he missed the Q. I mean, whatever, it happens. You know, 9 times out of 10, you're hoping you hit that Q. The one time he didn't hit it, he dies. But I mean, that's just the type of player he is. And that's why Mammoth actually give us such exciting early games, because that's the team that they are. They just put their foot on the gas, and they're just ready to take any skirmish, any 1v1, any 2v2. Hasn't worked out for them, but I really hope we get that same Mammoth today.
I think, Nat, you need to put your foot on the gas too, right? I think you got 2 people waiting for you on the sideline.
I do. I'm actually going to be talking to Decoy and Frost. Thank you both so much for joining me. Now, Decoy, I don't think you heard, but Skimmy brought up a stat just before, and you do have the highest percentage of kill participation across our league, but you only have 1 player that delivered, so I want to give you a moment to try and plead with the talent on broadcast as to why they should already give you player that delivered before we even start the game.
Well, since I can't even use my vouchers, I don't care too much about it. As long as we're getting wins, that's all that matters. So, yeah,
I like it. I mean, it wasn't... You're just like, as long as someone's getting it in the team, as long as we're getting a win, I love it. But you guys are on a really good win streak at the moment. Do you have the confidence to sit there beside Chaz and say that you guys will go undefeated for the rest of the split?
My teammates are really cocky, so of course they're going to say that. I do think it is very likely we do go undefeated for the rest of the split, but I can see us dropping like 1 or 2 games possibly, but I also do think we will go undefeated. But yeah, if we lose 1 or 2 along the way, it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, you just that we wanted to be undefeated, but we're not too surprised if there is one or two along there. But for us on Mammoth's side, you guys, are you looking to bring something new to the table today? Maybe shake up what PGG expect to see from you?
Yeah, maybe some surprise plays to surprise them. But overall, just some consistency in our plays, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
What is your goal for the remaining 3 weeks in this split?
Just looking to at least secure a few more wins, but just give it our all. That's all.
Do you think you have an advantage going into the game today to be able to take the win off of PGG?
Not really. I mean, we're against PGG, right? They're went to MSI. They're probably the best team in the region. So, not really, but we'll give it our all.
I like it. And for you, Decoy, what is your goal? Obviously, apart from being undefeated, what are some personal goals for you in the remainder of this split?
Well, I think in the past weeks, I've definitely shown how good of a support I am in the region. So just kind of securing my spot as the best support is probably my personal goal.
Yeah, I think you're well on your way to that. And the last question I have is, you guys only faced off 2 weeks ago. Has it given you enough time to make some changes and potentially bring something new to the game tonight?
Is this for me?
Yeah. We'll start with you, Decoy. I probably should have said that.
Yeah, well, I don't think we haven't scrimmed in probably like 8 or 9 days. We've had a few cancellations.
Oh, wow.
So I think our preparation hasn't been like too spot on because we don't have enough data from scrims and all that. So we're probably just coming in here like standard as normal.
Yeah, and for us, what about you guys with that prep in the scrims? Is it a lot different to what we hear PGG is going under?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Are preps and scrims going very differently for you guys? Like, are you getting a lot of scrim times in and a lot of preparation time?
It's definitely a lot less recently, but still enough to keep us going forward.
Well, I look forward to seeing that progress tonight. Thank you both so much for joining me, and good luck.
Thank you.
Always good to hear from the boys as well. Decoy, very humble, and hopefully we can give him that DoorDash play that delivered this evening, as long as he does his thing and does it well. Now, prediction time. So I don't think I'm going to be surprised at all here, unless...
I just realized I didn't do my predictions.
Oh, I didn't either.
Twitch, you get to decide for Nats as well.
Oh no! It's so funny though, because I hand in my interviews and I put up like the schedule for everyone in the Discord.
Yeah, you did.
I always tag Jubes to like tell them what games are happening today, and I forgot to put my predictions in there.
Well, I've been told that you can ride with me today, Nat. You can ride with Twitch chat, so
thank goodness.
I dare say you may still be getting a W unless Mammoth play out of their minds.
What did the Groovy Juvie get? Did he get Nat treatment
PGG.
as well?
No,
You got
PGG.
Pentiment.
I would have hit Mammoth, but I'll take Pentiment.
Oh, okay. Well,
He says that now with the PGG symbol under his name.
let it be known. Now let's jump onto the second page, see what everyone else picked here. Nat, you've gone... Oh, you've gone the
why'd you
PGG.
get the PGG?
There you go.
I can genuinely see the sweat dripping off Rusty's prediction. Look at it.
You can see what a drip of sweat.
Yeah, he reckons he's getting a DoorDash voucher if he wins the tips.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
true.
That's what I told him, although it was a lie. Now, sorry, Rusty, that you had to find out this way. I saw him in Twitch chat, so I know he's watching. However, look, it's getting a little bit closer to the game, and damn, I'm hungry, even though I've already got dinner. If I want a snack, what I'd do is use exclamation DoorDash in the chat, and you can get yourself some dinner. Get yourself a dessert. I don't know, early dessert before dinner. If you feel like doing that, you know, why not, hey? And also, we've got a game coming up, so that's going to be sick. Now, Champ Select's almost ready. I think it's going to be, personally, a PGG blowout. But because they're versing Mammoth, are they going to take it as seriously as possible, or do you think we're going to see some flex champs here, maybe?
I think they probably learned their lesson from the loss to Gravitas last split.
True.
You never really want to break momentum, right? Momentum is such a valuable thing in League of Legends that, like, you can't just click your fingers and say, yeah, we've got momentum. So you just need to keep building and building and building and building, and you never really want to have that, I guess, that hump in a road. So I think we're going to see the best from PGG, but I'm hopeful and optimistic for the Mammoth. I mean, they got players that you love. How can you not love that team? You know, they're so friendly, so nice, so true. Yeah.
I'm keen to see what Pabu plays, because we did see when he was going into 11.14, he was saying he had all these different junglers that he wanted to try, or all these different jungle champs that he wanted to try. And we haven't really seen him flex that pool so far. He's played a little bit of Graves, he got a little bit of Phil in there yesterday. Hopefully we can see something else, because it seems like there's some more that we haven't seen yet. And today seems like would be a good day, if any, to try that out. However, I guess we'll see once we jump into champs like Skimmy.
Yeah, I think he'll just, as Decoy mentioned as well, right? No scrims, no need to try and veer off and do anything too crazy. Just keep the momentum, as Juves mentioned. I was actually having a look at some of their stats going into this one. Week upon week, they have been getting stronger. Early game, stronger control of objectives, taking down structures, first bloods, the like of everything that really makes them so strong, because we've always sort of touted Pentanet as the best late game team, a team that you'd bank your house on to like get it across the finishing line. But when they're winning the early game too, it's a very hard momentum swing to stop. So I think just looking at a lot of the champions they've been playing, you know, you're seeing multiple games of Lee Sin for Chaz in mid lane. I think I've seen 5 games of Leona from Decoy in the last 8 matches played. So they'll be sticking to comfort, get a clean win, and focus up for next week.
I want to see Lee Sin on Chaz, mainly because of the stat, Skimmy,
right?
From Jarrett.
Yeah, well, so because stats are obviously the be-all, end-all, me and Nat were collaborating here. We're talking about some really interesting bits and pieces, and we did find that Chaz has the highest KDA in the world right now as a Lee Sin. His KDA is 20, so
wow.
He may just get imported at this rate. Look, you know, we're not even at Worlds, but he's already been touted as the greatest, so he's got the seal of approval from the LCO.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Someone else that's doing all right is you guys at home, because we've already got some content to have a look at before we jump into the game. It is Space Ghost. My eyes are getting heavy because it's 1:30 AM, but we're still going to show up for an LCO, and you should too, with another kitty that looks like Pabu's mum's kitty as well. The same, is that like the same kind? I'm not a cat guy.
I don't know. I'm also not a cat person, but what I will say is that's a healthy cat right next to the exercise. Is that a bike? One paw on the pedal and just ready to go. What?
It's a rower.
It's a rower machine.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
It's got
wow.
the army thing and the feet things.
Yeah, love me a rower. I just didn't know.
Yeah, Space Ghost is a good soul. Comes over from the LCS. I believe she's actually casting the League Day, which is like their radio version variant of the LCS, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
shout out.
Cool.
I've worked with her in the past, and it's good to see that, you know, more eyes from elsewhere and around the world come on down, and they can listen to our accent and and mock it, I guess.
Okay, well, maybe you got yourself a secret admirer there, Skimmy. However, think about that one, because Champ Select is ready for game 1 of the evening. It's Pentanet and Mammoth. See you after the game.
Beautiful, Mac. Well, let's kick it off with the first game of the night. Pentanet taking on Mammoth. It is the David and Goliath situation. You'd have to say, really, opposite ends of the table. One team already qualified, the other, no chance to continue that journey. But we all have to then put our focus onto what this draft could look like, because it is still 11-14.
Yeah, and we're seeing the 11-14 bans, right? I mean, Aurelia, LeBlanc, Lulu, and then the Karma, the Zinzao, the Tom Kench, the Thomas Kench. The Kench has been benched. The Frog has been... I don't know, man. I need to write it down. I need to write it down and do it once.
That's your opening script every single time, mate. It's a banger.
Every time. Honestly, probably need to break up and diversify my cast, because when there's a Tom Kench in the game, you know you're just getting that line. That line is always coming in. But what line I don't always say is Nectar's on the Gwen.
Well, he is on the Gwen.
Well, he's not on it yet, but...
Look, that's going to get locked in. Let's be quite honest. It's definitely going to get locked in here. Nectar, as I said before, had his best performance so far last week at the end of Super Week. And whilst they weren't able to get the victory against Order, he was able to put in a beautiful individual performance. Interesting to see here that these two champions have not been banned away. 100% pick ban on this patch in the LCO, and we're sort of seeing the same theme stay true globally as well.
Yeah, and like... It's pretty predictable from Pentanet, but also it is just such a strong pick, right? So it kind of sounds silly to say, but it just feels like week upon week, you know what Pentanet.gg are going to play, and they're going to draft that every single time without fail. So you have all week to come up with something, to come up with either bans, picks, whatever it is. However, it just doesn't work. Like, no team can figure them out. I mean, Chaz just plays the Lee Sin, pops off on that. He gets the Viego, and then what do? And you only have so many bans, right? Do you leave time open and give it to Panther? It's just a headache, and I'm glad I'm not coaching anymore, so I don't have to worry about draft.
We can just, give our 2 cents in the situation. No surprises there. Leona locked in once again. Now that's 6 games in a row for the big man himself in Decoy. They're going to combine it with the Kaiser. That has been their bread and butter duo for the last few matches, and it keeps ringing true, you'd have to say, where teams are denying away the Aphelios, which has been a staple in Praetor's wheelhouse.
Definitely has, but I mean, Kaiser is one of those 80 carries that is, it's punishable now, right? I remember when Kaiser was really OP for a long period of time. It was pretty unpunishable. Had a strong laning phase, had very good scaling, had good mid game, had good everything. Everything was good. But now you're seeing Kaiser get outranged quite a bit, particularly, with the Ziggs lanes and the all-in lanes. Like a lot of Dravens populate in the LPL now, particularly when they draft the Kaiser.
Yep.
Not necessarily sure if Frost is a Draven player, because he does, play that cog more so well. But again, it's options. It's something that PGG need to think about when they're playing this Kaiser blind. But again, Praetor's probably so confident on it. Aphelios Thresh, that's the bread and butter. That's the staple. We're used to seeing it. The Thresh makes up for the lack of mobility from the Aphelios, but if you land the hook, obviously there's that one-shot potential as well.
Certainly is, and it's a very comfortable champion for Shinky too. We've seen him have moments where he can definitely pop off individually with some fantastic flays, lanterns to get his team out of harm's way, and look to try and turn the tides of battle in just a glimpse like that. The Lucian has been banned away, so those 2 picks that I was hopefully wanted to see Wei play today aren't going to be available for him, whereas Mammoth's direction has been to hard target Pabu. Fiddlesticks yesterday, he's played a fair bit of Diana as well, limit his aggression and initiation.
Can I just say, I mean, this is probably not very professional, but Pabu's hair, it's really tempting me to get the buzz cut and just dye it like platinum blonde or something, but that's a story for another day.
Well, I'm on the same wavelength as you, mate. We're locked in lockdown once again, aren't we? And the hair got a little bit unruly last time, so I'm this close to buying some clippers and getting it done for playoffs, but yeah, I suppose we'll take it a day at a time.
Yeah, do it. Now, Orianna's kind of a weird champ that we're seeing kind of, I guess, in the meta now. It was out of the meta for so long at a certain point. I think due to the nature of like Lucian being strong and those high mobility mid laners, the Lee Sin, the stuff that really influence jungle matchups, Rift Herald contests and whatnot. But it just feels like more people are getting more comfortable playing Ori as like the one staple lane. You have volatility elsewhere, like the Leona lane or the Viego lane, and you really just want something that's going to be able to collect CS, collect farm, be relevant when it comes to those mid-game skirmishes. And it's honestly been going a little less punished than we're used to seeing.
Well, he has. And it'll be interesting to see now, because this is a bit of a staple for Chaz. If I bring my mind back to, well, I'd want to say, maybe 2020. It feels like a moon away, given the situation. But he has played a lot of this, and at one point he had an insane KD on it as well. Playing for Avant, popping off, doing it all, and very excited to see what he can perform with like today, as he's going to be going into an Akali, which was the go-to for multiple patches, has dropped down the pecking order a fair bit, but we have seen that it can still put in some fantastic work, as demonstrated by Lived.
Refresh my memory, Skimmy. Is this the Akali with the nerfed skill expression?
That's right.
Okay. So, I mean, Wei's probably still feeling confident. Akali, again, is a good pick in this particular game, because what you can do, if you get strong enough, is you force the Orianna to match you in a side lane. Right? Orianna doesn't want to be in a side lane. She's very diveable, right? Especially when you consider that there's a volley bear with the Akali. But she'll never be able to rotate first in a long lane, because she's going to lose the 1v1 to Akali. So you're just catching wave second, and then potentially Wei's already at that play, teleported in, and it's as good as done before you even get there. So I don't mind the Akali pick, but the question mark for me, and I guess the question mark that we had on broadcast, is how is Wei going to do in the early levels, in the early laning phase? Because that's where we've really seen him falter. It's not necessarily been in the mid game, late game. It's can he get out of lane even?
Yeah, you want to unlock him from that laning state, get him across the map to try and influence elsewhere, because if I'm looking at some of these lane states right now, obviously top lane's going to be exciting. The 2 most meta champions so far. Skill expression, that's what you're going to want to see. But in the jungle, Pabu once again playing this Trundle. We know that Gudo loves to play the volley bear too. I'm very curious about how this matchup in particular is going to work.
Yeah, I mean, Trundle traditionally, and I say this traditionally, wins, those 1v1 melee range matchups, right? In the sense that, like, the Trundle Q is just really OP. A lot of the time they proc press the attack as well. And in the early levels, like, PTA is just so, I'm going to say broken. It's not broken, but the burst you get helps you win those 1v1s, those skirmishes in the river. The one thing I wanted to touch on though was like Trundle doesn't necessarily have very gankable lanes, right? You know, you got the cleanse on Frost. He's going to be pretty safe from the Leona engage. And then Wei should not really die. Like, there's no shockwave. Oh, a little bit of a dance there. A little bit of a gentleman's agreement.
So, yeah, it's a bit of a way to kickstart this interview as we welcome back in Jalal to talk about things as we close out this week 7. And, mate, I suppose a couple of weeks of gameplay left for you and the boys to focus on. So, what's it like for the team now? Is it still very much guns blazing with this 5-man roster? Or is there maybe a chance to start, you know, bringing some subs that are very hungry to perform and sort of show what they can do?
Definitely like opportunities for this roster to keep playing, continuing to improve. So yeah, that's my opinion on the roster so far.
Yeah, fantastic. And knowing that the team can no longer make the playoffs run, you still have the ability to obviously disrupt the rest of the pack. We've seen that you can wrestle with the best on your given day. So is there any particular team or idea of like, you know, we really want to try and bring it to them because then that's a staple of our improvement across the whole year?
Yeah, definitely playing spoilers, something we want to do, and just making sure like we play competitively and we make every team sweat and no win is free.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talk to me a little bit about this draft. I was praising Nectar on this Gwen performance that we saw last week. Were you surprised that was allowed through the draft to hopefully find some points of strength to get you out into a competitive state?
Not surprised. I think it's a handshake where they take Viego, we take Gwen, so I feel like it's a good trade for us as well.
Awesome. All right, mate. Well, we'll crack on with the game so we avoid the caster curse of any first bloods. Wish you boys the best of luck, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thanks, Gimme.
I need to really control myself because I end up going into game and just going on a rant, and I always forget there's a coach's interview.
Look, I'm all aboard, and a few times you've stopped yourself. I know you've broken the third wall of production in our ear, but look, mate, I love the rants because we don't get enough time usually. It's too much action.
I need a producer in my ear just telling me that I need to shut my mouth. But the one thing that I wanted to touch on was the fake leash. So Frost and Shinky actually started auto-attacking blue and just fake leashing it because Guro wanted to, I guess, early gank bot lane. However, Pabu started the same side as Guro on his blue buff, path towards his bot lane. Because Pabu, I mean, he's very smart. He knows that the lane of, I guess, volatility, the lane that's going to explode is going to be this bot lane. You know, top lane, sure, no flash on Nectar, but it is kind of just one of those nothing lanes where they just trade, you know, backwards and forwards until, you know, one person, I guess, loses out on that sustain war and has to recall. So it's just been matched, and now PGG know, ooh, nice little trade here. PGG know they have to respect bot side, and they're just letting that wave come in, and they're eating it under turret.
And I think they've certainly shown respect to Frost and Shinky after he kind of announced himself in that first meeting, right, where he was playing Varus, was able to snipe the 1v1 kill into Praetor and basically say, look, I'm not afraid of the nameplates, I'm not afraid of the standings and the reputation and whatnot. I'm here to play, and I'm here to say that, you know, this is how I do it. And he does tend to receive the highest amount of his team's gold, so a lot of resources go towards him, and you'd be very impressed if your Aphelios can obviously deal out that damage because we know what it can do.
100%, and I mean, they've probably been, I guess, from what's been a little bit of a chaotic season for Mammoth, they've probably been the most consistent, you know, apart from Guro in terms of just laners.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, I remember early on into the split, I thought Frost was going to be the next FBI or something like that, like the next import. If you remember his early games,
sure,
he was just absolutely shredding. Of course, you know, they didn't manage to get those wins, but in terms of individual performance and just performance, I guess, as a duo, they were fantastic. So, again, the Mammoth have shown us enough rather that they're able to compete with, you know, if not the top teams, at least, you know, the ones that are in playoff contention, but they've just, again, never really been able to pull it together as a 5-man unit, right? They've never really been able to all be on point in all games, right? It's kind of one person lacking, one person lagging behind a little bit, as we see again.
See again, bit of a trade taking place topside. The Mist gets relocated, but Nectar is going to feel the brunt of that trade. He's got himself a pot, one charge left. And going to be chugging through that one to try and keep up to dough with Biopanther, who I suppose there have been nerfs to the Viego kit, but regardless, going to still be pretty topped up and healthy.
Well, pre-6, trading like a madman when you have Ignite instead of the Flash is actually a really good idea. The problem you have now at level 5, Panther has like an execute basically, right? In the sense of that Viego ultimate.
Sure.
So Nectar being, you know, anywhere below half, he really has to consider the fact that there might be a lethal. And, you know, having no Flash 2 means you can't really juke that ultimate. And, I mean, Pabu's really just identified this, right? The comms are probably, I'm going to be 6 on this wave. They took for a dive.
Yeah, well, there's level 6, as you say. Pabu on the flank just needs to hit a pillar, really, to try and prevent the flash away, because there is none. There goes the miss once and twice. In comes a TP full stat immediately. And Pabu will take that trade. Sure, he burnt his flash, but he's baited out a TP.
I mean, that's a very big win. And again, I mean, probably harping on this a little bit. This is why PGG are really good. Because they don't commit. They don't really commit to anything. It's all non-committal. And then they make you make a play. And then that play is a net loss. Like, you look at the CS discrepancy in the mid lane, and the fact that Wei had to teleport up there, and we still may even see a solo kill.
You still might see the fight break out. Needlework has to be proc, looking for the auto attack. The execute goes on out. Nectar getting so close. One more.
Oh!
He steals it away. He gets the first blood by a Panther. He did not expect that.
Wow, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't expect that. Panther seems like he kind of whiffed his ultimate there a little bit. He was in two minds, right? Like, do I disengage here with the ult? Do I play for the damage? I mean, I'm sure we'll get a replay on that, but Nectar, which they're showing us why they first picked this Gwen. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row now where he's had such a solid game. Obviously, really early on, but fantastic 1v1 in the top lane.
And that's a massive feat to take down someone like Panther, right? Mr. Consistent, does it all, plays it all. You're beating him 1v1. Well, players to keep an eye on for the future, for sure. Here's the replay.
Yeah. I was saying to me, I think this is over. Like, Nectar has no mana, but the ult missed there, right? I mean, I'm not seeing things. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, he just completely got outplayed by Nectar there.
Yeah, and just auto-attack animation cancelled as well, right? The fact that he can flash away, bait it out, turn around with his own wind-up and get that kill. He sniped it away. Now a cheeky solo kill. And a lane flip also to follow. What do we think about this?
Yeah, I mean, this just says to me that they want to contest this Rift Herald, right? You know, I'm not the biggest fan of this move because it can be matched, right? In theory, this swap can be matched by PGG. They're on their way bot side, but Rift Herald hasn't spawned yet. So there's a realm in which PGG are able to push this wave into turret, get it to reset, get it to bounce back. They're able to either reset, walk up, contest Rift Herald, and then you're just putting Nectar in a 1v2 when he's been winning his lane. Like, Nectar is now being denied farm, or will be denied farm, but in isolation, he was doing a great job. So I'm kind of a little bit torn because, again, Frost and Shinky weren't doing poorly in that lane. And if anything, if you said to me who wins lane, Aphelios Thresh or Kai'Sa Leona, for me it's the Aphelios Thresh. They're going to be fine. They have the Flayed to stop the Leona's Zenith Blade. You know, they have the range of the Aphelios. So,
Pabu is now caught in 2 minds. He burnt that flash previously. Topside, there's a lantern, but that's not for him. That's to back up the boys here. Mammoth coming in. Shockwave locks and plays free. Panther can't contest. They'll do much more. The rest of PGG are here to protect their own blue buff, but that's another kill sniped away, and this time into the hands of Goodo.
Makes me look a little bit silly now because they actually ended up finding the pick because they flipped. I mean, but hold that thought. They're still contesting.
Yep, the Herald is on. Multiple ults still available here for Mammoth.
Nectar has no TP. So again, maybe I don't think they can do this.
Would seem risky. Wei looking to try and sneak behind them on the flank. Sitting on vision, however, does not want to posture much more because he could just get turned upon. The Herald's just going to get reset.
Yeah, reset.
And what I suppose the biggest benefactor has to be Nectar. Just got free push bot.
Yeah, that's a huge dub. That is a huge dub from Mammoth, and it's actually very good discipline from them because they didn't overcommit for that Rift Herald, right? I feel like maybe Mammoth a few weeks ago, you know, while they're feeling that pressure of still trying to make playoffs, because as much as, you know, you're not really in the conversation for playoffs, there's still the, you know, the miracle run, right? The Shulker miracle run. They want to make that run. But, you know, they had the discipline to leave the Rift Herald, walk away, give it up, reset, and Nectar picked up 3 plates bot side as well as a bunch of CS. So that's an overall really big win for Mammoth.
And just look how much attention is still being shown to the top side, despite multiple members dispersing back to their normal lane state. Still a lot of people posturing top side, deciding, do we want to try and poke our head into this one? Both bot lanes now have gone back, so we're going to go back to more traditional laning states. And I suppose the risk that you were referring to was, sure, you know, invest in the Aphelios and he'll grant you a victory, but the fact that Nectar can get that solo kill, you'd be saying, it was a little bit hard done by. I guess the saving grace is he was able to get all those 3 turret plates, so it's not a loss in the grand scheme of things, but definitely could have gone two different ways.
I'm just a firm believer in if you're winning a lane, there's no reason to really flip it. Like, fair enough if your bot lane's losing or if you really think you're going to get that Rift Herald, but I mean, it was just so early, the flip. It just felt like there was just no need to flip at that point in time, but anyway, you know, Rift Herald's still up and we're just seeing mirrored, well, we're seeing mirrored lanes now, right? Bot lane's top lane and top lane's bot lane. So it's all worked out in the end. Dragon's gone over to Mammoth as well. Another one spawning.
Gold is dead even at this stage of the game, but the big discrepancy would be found in the mid lane, where the Orianna has a 36 CS lead. The matchup itself, pretty volatile.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a 40 CS lead at 11 minutes. So Chaz is obviously playing this lane extremely well, and he hasn't really been pulled to any of the skirmishes, right? Oh, Gwen's rotated first.
Certainly has. Nectar coming up the river, going to drop the miss once again. Nak becomes immune, now looking for the final moment to hit this needlework in a 1v4, forced to disengage away, has no flash, got ignite, and has just been left by his teammates.
Yeah, it was kind of they didn't want to contest there. I mean, and this is kind of what we harped on about before the game, right? Decoy. Decoy being on the reset timer to link up with Pabu to influence somewhere else on the map, right? And in this particular play, they want a dragon control. They got it. They picked up the kill as well. And teams honestly just don't expect that because you don't really, you know, Leona bot side, 11 minutes. Oh, wait, yeah, dragon spawning. And Praedyth goes unpunished as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he does a very good job to stay safe and he's just farming up a storm. And again, I mean, one of those, I guess, the hidden gem of PGG would be Decoy at this point.
What does he have to sacrifice, really, Praedyth? He's only lost one single turret plate. The TP commit in from Biopanther. A 2-man shockwave that just pretty much evaporates them. Easy resets and easy souls as Biopanther becomes a Philios and shows them how to get it done. 2 objectives in 2 minutes.
Yeah, so much priority in the mid lane too, right? Chad's just rotating first. Wei has to stay in lane to pick up the CS because if he doesn't, I mean, it's already 40 CS and a turret plate. If he leaves and tries to match that, then he's just even further behind. So again, it's Mammoth just not playing around their strong points, not playing around their priority, and rather bringing Nectar to less than advantageous fights when what they should be doing is just playing through Nectar's lane.
Feels like they're locked in 2 states of mind. Do we play to our bot side and make them strong, or do we want to empower this Gwen to be an absolute beast to contend with? And a bit of uncertainty seems to have crept in here very early on as to really where that strength could be found. As you mentioned, mid lane was unlocked. Chesses is able to consistently now, in those 2 occasions, just hit these multi-man shockwaves that have been game-changing in that regards.
Yeah.
And the lane flip that was in hopes of snowballing the early advantage that Mammoth have had has resulted in them losing both.
But this is the thing about the Orianna pick too, right, Smith, that we touched on. You don't notice Orianna until you notice Orianna. Like, she doesn't do much in the early game, of course. Like, you're not expecting the Orianna pick to do that. But then you just come to that team fight, you come to that big group, and then the shockwave lands on 2, and you say, okay, I guess that's why Orianna's, you know, always been, for as long as I can remember, the staple mid. The staple mid laner that when you need a control mage, that's the one that you get. More turret plates going over to PGG too. I mean, across the
Stuck
board.
that one in, really, haven't they, before it
Yeah.
falls on down?
Kudo's, I guess, Kudo's doing the right thing here, but it almost just feels like a little bit too late, right? You know, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, Nectar and Kudo are still quite strong, but you take stock of the rest of the map and then you start getting a little bit monkey-esque because how do you get the lead top side that you're now seeing for PGG bot side? And they're going to pick up a bigger lead even, right? The Rift Herald into the turret, and first turret probably going to fall down here.
Yep, first turret gone, goes the way of PGG. 4 members strong, they look to push on through mid as a nice lantern will protect Frost from falling on down. But that's going to be a second hit by Charge. Oh, and a good flash away to prevent the shockwave because that could have been a pick, a kill, and 2 turrets, and that could have really swung the balance of this game that much further in PGG's court.
Yeah, and I mean, it's what, a 4k gold lead now, or 3k rather. And PGG don't look like they're stopping, and this is the one thing they do really well. They don't really rest on their laurels. They really just give us 1k, we'll take 2, 3k, 4k, and then before you know it, you're at like an 8k deficit, you know, playing for soul point, or 20 minutes in the Baron spawning. So you know, we'll probably see a little bit of a lull in action. You know, maybe those tier 1 top lane and bot lane turrets will fall down, but PGG will be happy just riding the wave until Baron spawns.
Yeah.
Because again, if you look at the composition, who face checks from Mammoth? Like, how do you face check the vision?
Well, we're going to have to see Goodo, you'd imagine, walking in there and probably using that ultimate to disengage away from, less than anything, right? Which isn't the best case scenario, unless they can find some creative angles with vision deployed to flash in and deny and all the rest of it. There's plenty of mobility that they can utilize in that regard. But yeah, to your question, I mean, you look at the lane state, or you look at the game state really more than anything. At 15 minutes, you say PGG, gold lead, all the objectives, the pressure, the map control, probably the best case scenario.
Good to see Nectar still doing well in this lane. He's picked up his you know, I still call them Tarbies, but he's picked up his Tarbies and still getting the better of the 1v1, right? Forcing Biopanther off turret. So I guess we'll need to keep our eyes on this side lane in isolation, because you bring Nectar to the group, he's just not strong enough. And Wave's being doped.
3 members either side of the map right now. Shockwave locks him in place. Perfect execution to try and disengage. Not going to be enough. Flash to follow. Pabu chomps him down. Now, question is, what is the answer back here from Mammoth? Is they're looking to try and run the same play topside now. He's out of the shadows, forced to flash away. The box goes down, the ultimate disengage, and the death sentence will be duped for the meantime.
Yeah, so it's a nice disengage from Biopanther. He's playing relatively safe. But again, while you're making plays on Biopanther, what are you losing? Because you've lost a turret bot side, you're losing a dragon, you're picking up a turret, but again, if you take, you know, if you do the math, you're really trading down.
Yeah. No kill. A turret for a kill versus a dragon as well, and PGG sure they won't have the quickest soul point, but certainly well on their way to claiming that state of the game. And interesting really to see, you know, the evolution of PGG. As we said, you know, started off a little bit, you don't want to say weak, but a lot slower than people were imagining coming from MSI. I think it was the game that we casted in week 5 against Legacy. That very clean game with the rotations topside, and everything to follow from that moment onwards. The game against Order with the Draven that they participated in. It seems like they've just kicked up another gear, and I think what a time with only 2 weeks left to play to really hit your peak performance. They're certainly reminding teams why they went to MSI.
Yeah, definitely. Now that, excuse me, while you were talking about that, I guess there was a window for like 20 seconds there where Praedyth went to the Church of LS. He actually froze the wave in mid lane, and because there was nothing to do, right? There was nothing to take, and then he ended up pushing the lane here because he needs to rotate topside jungle to help Pabu if he gets caught on these jungle camps. But I just thought that was funny, like the evolution of League of Legends, right? You know, usually it's just
Osis freezing?
Yeah, ping pong with minion waves. Instead, Praedyth freezing the wave there, because actually the thing I wanted to quickly touch on was Praedyth got caught against Direwolves and the game turned into a bit of a shambles up mid lane, right? Like he was permanently ping ponging waves and farming under their tier 2 turret. So I guess it's the respect factor from Praedyth now.
Respect, as we see another bit of a brawl breaking out here. The Battle of the Divine Thunderers, but a little bit too much damage, I should say, from Biopanther here. Going into the volley bit. That's to be expected with a 3-level discrepancy, of course.
Oh, here we go.
Chaz, he's got himself a 2-level discrepancy, and he's forced to try and flash away. Way! Well, unfortunately, mate, it wasn't to be the case. Nearly got the single kill. The solo bolo.
Can I just say, the poor guy, that's happened to him 2 times in 2 games. 1 auto attack from a solo kill. You know, look, if I'm being completely honest, I think at this point in the game, Wei actually has to go for that. I genuinely don't mind that. I don't mind him going for the 1v1 there. Like, his R2 misses out on damage. He's 1 auto attack from killing Chaz. Good shockwave, good disengage. You know, there's a realm where maybe Chaz whiffs the shockwave a little bit. Who knows? But I mean, you know, when you're almost 100 CS down, turret plates, turret gold, I mean, you really need to make that play. And if that works, maybe Wei's back on his way back into that game, or into this game.
Yeah.
But now he's kind of just like further in a hole, I guess.
Well, it was a 2-level difference, right? That would have been a massive individual kill given the state of his laning. As you can see, 100 CS down. It's getting rough there in comparison.
Yeah.
The big driving forces to white out PGG are so far gone, with a 5,000 gold lead to talk about as we hit the 20-minute mark.
And it's like that. I feel like majority of the gold lead, maybe 3k of it, is probably in the mid lane, right? Like Praedyth's probably up, you know, the other 2k, but across the board, it's relatively even. in terms of like at least top lane. Jungle, yeah, Pabu's a little bit ahead, but they can take Chaz down and not burn too many cooldowns, as Wei's gonna have a slow death here.
Yeah, they're running the playback again. Decoy. He's a man on a mission, isn't he? No Moby boots required. He's always roaming. He doesn't want to steal the kill away.
No, I can't find him.
And Chaz with a couple more auto attacks. We'll just do it the simple old-fashioned way. Baron being started here by Mammoth. That's what we're getting excited about. That's the reason why Wei was baiting their attention.
No shockwave.
Dropped down to 50%. Shockwave a world away, as you say. But that's a lot of damage, and Praetor jumps in. The killer instinct. He's got the killer instinct because he finds one. He's going to try and find a few more, but he falls on Dan, actually. Frost takes him to the grave. It's going to be an ace, but it won't be a perfect one. But PGG won't mind.
Yeah, it's just a really good play out of PGG. They're forcing Mammoth's hand. Mammoth's feeling very suffocated in this game. They make the Hail Mary play. They try and go for that Baron. Obviously not the right call. I mean, you know, there was comms on no shockwave from Chaz. And that was probably where they thought, you know, this is the window that we have to win. Look at that. Look at that. 5k damage pretty much. I mean, it's just half HPing the whole thing without a shockwave. That's how strong Chaz is right now. And then it's just the rest of these resets. It's all clean ups and it's clean. It's clean.
He's been everywhere on this map, trying to keep Decoy in check and saying it's not all about you with the roams. I can make sure that I can roam top, mid, bot. Find myself a fair few kills as well. The perfect kill participation in this one. Big bounty on his head, however. So he has the stopwatch. He's actually opted in for the elixir as well. They're ramping up with this Baron buff to end the game, it seems.
Yeah, when you buy elixirs this early on with the Baron buff, you're ending. That's the call that's been made, right? They're going to pick up the Dragon as like that, I guess, that insurance policy. You know, they probably won't need it. However, you know, that's how they're feeling. Why not? It's a free objective to take while we fix our waves, while we sync our waves rather.
Yep.
So you'll see Buy Panther low push bot lane or push bot lane, and he'll match that with Praetor. Force Mammoth to make a decision which lane do they defend, and ultimately they may not even be able to defend any lane, because you look at the wave clear coming out of Mammoth, there's no range. That's all shockwaveable. So again, Chaz is going to be key to breaking this base here.
Nectar on the side, crashing another wave before he's forced to recall. Doesn't want to push any further. Already did fantastic work earlier in this game to take down 2 structures, so he's going to be able to hang on to this TP. Mid and bot, though, are synchronized as you called, and now the base siege begins. 90 seconds on the Baron buff, plenty of time with cannons there to support them.
That was
the posturing of Mammoth, as you say, respecting the shockwave.
Well, the moment he pulls the trigger, someone dies. It's as simple as that. It's just who dies.
Well, there's a Herald also to summon too, so we're definitely guaranteeing that 2 inhibitors are going to fall on down right now. Nectar's already dropped down to 50%. Wei's not going to try and jump on him, but denying attention with the miss for so long as he can. Multiple miss, too many in the game. Nectar going to fall on down, a little bit insane. As the shockwave airballs, hits nothing this time, but it doesn't matter because PGG have found the break. They found the opening, they found the free. Soon to find a 4th. Looking to get the kill on towards Frost, locked inside his fountain, but the attention now was firmly fixated on the base itself. Are we looking for a dancing Herald? No, 22 HP and dead. A turret to fall, a Nexus exposed, a game to win at 24 minutes as PGG keep the win streak going.
Yeah, it's a very big statement game for PGG, right? 11, 12k gold lead, 24 minutes in, closing it out quite cleanly. You'd have to say it's what was, I guess, expected when you can all things considered, the standings, the win streak from PGG, even the dyed hair buff from Pabu as well. I mean, every time that guy dyes his hair, they just level up.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a game cheat code. 9 wins on the go now. They are the team that really are to be feared, and you'd have to say, looking the most likely at this stage in current form to make it to Worlds. But Mac, you know, you look at a game like that and you say, this is the reason, you know, the standings are where they are.
Yeah, you can see that the when the best team plays the bottom team, it's just like a whole damn thing, isn't it? That really took the
Where have you been, mate?
I wasn't doing a workout and then heard you screaming from the garage and had to run back in because the game ended about 4 minutes faster than I thought it was going to end. But look, that's a conversation for another time. What we need to talk about is this game. Nectar, look, he did get first blood, but unfortunately that's pretty much all Mammoth got in the game. You know, Pentanet, there was a point where it was, you know, even till about like 15 minutes, and then they just started to, you know, get a couple of team fights. I need to breathe. Skimmy, can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk. So, this game was an absolute banger. Old mates pumping weights. We're screaming bars in the game. But yeah, I mean, for me, Chaz really was the man that really was the hero. I think he actually had a perfect KDA this game, right? There was a small glimpse when he could have fallen on down. Comes in, runs it back. Mammoth looking to try and do a bit of a Hail Mary. Down 6k gold by this point, Juves. They went for the flip. And unfortunately, by then, I think the playbook had been all but expired.
Yeah, and it was like a valiant attempt, I like we said, it's what we expected, but, I didn't expect Chaz to be this clean on the Orianna. Obviously, it's a staple mid lane pick that you need to be able to play, but it really was, a 1v9, and not in the sense that his team wasn't doing anything, it's just that he just had a complete control of the game. I mean, it's 23 minutes, there's not much to say, like, it was just all around a very good team performance, and excited to see where this leads PGG, like, where does this take them? Coming to playoffs.
I feel like this is one of the shorter games we've seen this split so far. Like, so far this split, we've had like 30 minutes, probably like 32 minutes, I feel like, is the average game length. And then this one, just blitzing out of nowhere. That's why I was expecting it to be at least like another 4, maybe 5 minutes long, but Mammoth unfortunately just couldn't put up that fight. And look, the 11.5k gold lead was more than enough for them to finish. So maybe some other teams can take some notes. Orianna, though, doing a lot of damage there in the mid lane, right, Skimmy? Yeah,
I mean, this is kind of what you expect. This is a champion that he has played for a very long time in his career. It's good to see that these champions are starting to come back, right? The likes of Syndra, we've seen that as well. You think of the control mages, Victor, potentially a little bit of Azir might start to spring to mind, but I think whilst assassins are getting toned down a fraction, the true mid laners, if you would say, the mage players are starting to find success on what is the comfort, what is the style of play that's being traditionally matched, because Chaz did it all this game.
Yeah, he certainly did. And someone else that does it all as well is Nat. Let's bring her back into the conversation. She's beautiful, she's lovely, and she's the best damn interviewer we've had on the show. Sorry, Jubes. Who do you have for the winner's interview?
You never called me beautiful.
I have. Actually.
I love how that's the issue Jubes has. Well, I am going to be joined by none other than Chaz himself. Congratulations on the win. The game looked pretty intense, I'm going to say, but how was it from the side of PGG? How do you feel after that one?
It was pretty easy. Like, we did a little bit of trolling as per usual. A couple deaths that didn't need to be there. But like, I think when me and Preyth are both on like 10 CS per minute, the game will never be a loss for the most part. Like the early like death top and like I guess Jackson dying or Paru dying, like if you like I don't know what the gold was, but I'm sure we will probably still up in gold just based off laning regardless. Like there was a very big CS difference in mid, and the XP would have been pretty large too. So we felt very comfortable the whole time. It didn't ever feel like the game slipped from control. And then like, we just hit our items and then the game ends as per normal. Yeah, we felt very like in control, even though there was a little bit of some troll deaths as per normal when it comes to Pentanet apparently.
Yeah, no, I would definitely have to say that is a bit of a PGG normal. But I do want to talk about that early game a little bit more, because you say you guys felt pretty in control. And I'm not going to say it looked like you guys were struggling at all. But do you think that Mammoth played, I guess, differently to what you were expecting?
Yeah, I mean, I swear, when I quit being a pro player, I just need to start drafting for these OS teams. It just doesn't make any sense. Like the way Love's playing these AD assassins, and then they've drafted like a Gwen top. So it's like, cool, pull out this AD assassin. Like they're pretty self-sufficient. Like Akali right now, isn't she's good, but she's really, really good into melee champions, so not range. So the Akali 5P was really troll. They've got double AD sides. So we was expecting them just to 5P Zed or Kiana or some shit like that, and then play towards that. They can still play, because the Nectar's been playing very well, so I'm not surprised that they were playing the top side and letting bots chill. But playing top side doesn't mean you just play the top lane, right? You gotta play to mid and top. It's on the side of the map, and realistically bot side is also mid and bot, but mid should always be played through, especially when you're playing his assassin. So him just being left alone on a assassin like Akali was just really troll in my opinion. I don't know what they could have done, because our 2v2 was winning, but the Akali pick was just wrong. It was just weird. I don't know. I swear if they just played their normal stuff, it would have been way harder for us to play. But yeah, I don't know. The draft just seemed really bad for them, and especially when you're playing against a team that's a strong team like us, playing lanes that. Playing Akali versus Ori is going to be a lose condition, to be honest. They needed to do a lot of stuff in the early game, they just left him. So we were like very worried about what would happen in the mid like 2v2, but they just let me farm. So I was like, oh, cool. Guess we'll just win the game for free. But yeah, that's something we thought they would do for sure.
Yeah, apart from that Akali pick, was there anything that was too out of the blue during that drafting phase for you guys, or was most of it kind of predicted?
Everything was like predicted 100%. Like I guess everyone likes to take Aphelios. No one wants to give Predator Aphelios, even though he's pretty trash at it. Like teams just like to take it. So then they're playing like something that's not like Aphelios Thresh is like good, but it's not like that's crazy. So when they take Aphelios on 2, like it's obvious they'll pair it with Thresh, and then their go-to junglers are going to be like the aggressive style, like Xin, but Xin's banned, so it's going to be Volley. And then the 5P, like we predicted an 80 assassin, and they just sent it with Akali. So like we knew what was coming the whole time. Like obviously the Gwen for Viego trade was like going to happen based off the bans. So like everything was like, we did a draft prep, and this was the draft prep, like right here. If we picked Viego, this was going to be the draft they took, and like I guess we're ready for it. So that's why the game was like so easy. Like 23 minutes, just because we knew exactly what was going to happen. So yeah, everything fell into place.
Yeah, we've heard Pabu say, you either give Predators the Aphelios or you take it away. Either way, you're probably going to lose with it. Is it then just something that teams have to start banning against you? And if so, like, what do you think they should be letting through that isn't anywhere near as much of a challenge?
I don't think you should be banning it. Like it's good, but it's not like that crazy. Like I guess it was getting a lot of play for a while, but no one else in the region really like plays it. And, like you're not gonna ban against any other team. It's not like Predators is suddenly some crazy going to 1v5 every game as a feeler. It's like he's good at the champion, but the champion has weaknesses. Like you just play to exploit the weaknesses, like what we do when you play. Like when you guys play it, other teams play it, like it looks like shit. And like granted our bot lane is better, so most champions will look like shit, but it's not giving you a win condition. So like it's like this huge like fear around us taking Aphelios Thresh that like teams just can't play against it. And like Predator is good at it, like I'll give him that, but it's not that like scary. I don't know why everyone's so like freaked out about it. Like you don't need to pick it, you don't need to ban it. Just like if we play it, then pick something that's going to win against it. Like that's pretty obvious. Pick Ziggs. He hates versing Ziggs. There you go, guys. Pick Ziggs. He picks Aphelios. He doesn't want to play that. There you go.
Well, look, hopefully maybe some other teams have gotten a bit of an insight on how to beat you guys, but I'm going to end the interview because I'm afraid that you've used up our swearing allowance just in this one interview.
My bad.
But thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations again on the win.
Thank you.
What the fuck, Chaz? I was trying to save the swearing allowance. That was my swearing allowance, and I just went overboard. I'm probably going to get fined now. Now I'm disappointed. I was going to come back, and I was going to compliment how amazing the Chaz and the Pabu interviews are, because they go on their own tangents. They turn it into the Chaz and Pabu podcast. They literally tell the enemy teams how...
This is what they did at the end of Split 1.
Yeah. And they say, this is all you need to do to beat us. Look, pick Ziggs. He hates playing against Ziggs. You win bot lane. There you go. Piece of information. And teams still just try to do their own thing, and it doesn't work. So it seems like Pentanet are just playing their own game, and maybe it's scare tactics. Maybe it is just free information. However, we do have a DoorDash player that delivered. And the DoorDash player that delivered not only the best interview, but the best damn gameplay was Chaz. There you have it. Man is 4-0-9, 100% kill participation. Have we seen that yet? I don't know. Jubes, you're the numbers man. Have we seen it yet?
Yeah, probably.
No,
Yeah,
we
nice,
haven't.
nice.
Oh, we haven't?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Well,
I'm not the numbers man. I told you my accountant is my people. I got a big team behind me.
Of course. Well, Skimmy, you were trying out for the stat snap position. Tell me what these numbers mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's 100% kill participation, it basically means you did deliver. You delivered the boys a win because everything that happened was because of you. Damage share, 42%. I mean, the shockwaves themselves were just destroying people. It was crazy. But yeah, I think for me, a lot of it came down to the fact that he was able to get such a big lead, go where the rest of his team pleased, assist in those side lanes, look to nullify the aggression that Nectar was looking to build up, stem the bleeding from this feared Aphelios Fresh that it seems to be like a voodoo against Pentanet, and yeah, get a much delivered or much deserved player delivered.
Yeah, much deserved meal as well with the $100 DoorDash voucher. So that takes us to the break. We've got a sick game coming up for game number 2, but today we do have a different song of the day. It is Come Along by Kinder feat. A Girl. So don't go too far and groove your way into game number 2.
The fact that Wei had to teleport up there and we still may even see a solo kill.
still might see the fight break out. Needlework has to be proc. Looks for the auto attack. The execute goes on out. Next they're getting so close. One more. He steals it away. He gets the first blood.
The hidden gem of PGG would be Decoy at this point.
What does he have to sacrifice really, Fred? If he's only lost one single turret plate, the TP commit in from Biopanther. A 2-month shockwave that just pretty much evaporates them. Easy resets and easy souls. Down to 50%.